have a look here. Another nice, beautiful, beautiful sunny day out there. Beautiful blue sky. We're looking right into the sun, actually. Really blinded myself plugging in the camera a few minutes ago. Very quiet here, Thursday morning. It'll get busy later. It's going to be busy later. Good morning, good morning. No snow, nothing here in Tokyo yet. We haven't seen a flake yet this year. Don't know how it's going to go. Good morning. Thanks for the reminder. I don't know who it was. Somebody in the chat last week or something. They reminded me about this shirt. I'd forgotten about it. You put it in the closet and forget about things. It will snow for Hanami season. Yeah, quite possible. There isn't going to really be a Hanami season. We're not locked down, but we're still in a condition of pretending to be locked down. So I think the shine on the street, it's a reflection. It's one of the comedian's posters. They're in a metal box, and I think the top of the metal box is just at the right angle to catch the sun. It'll disappear any minute now. Oh, it was Tom with the shirt, was it? Okay, thank you. I do the rotation, you know, with sweatshirts. It's two. One is on and one is on the laundry rack. When this gets not so good, I change and whatever. And this one didn't get into the rotation this year. So it is now in the rotation. Thank you. Okay, as you can see, it's a printing stream. This is not, production printing. This is a test print. So rather than watch me do the same thing 100 times, I've got, I forget, 5, 6 sheets of paper in the stack here. And we're going to do a test of the new yokai set. We're going to do a test run. So I'll do there's going to be three blocks. It's going to be, as you can see, the background block, which is not very complicated. There will then be the block for the yokai characters, which I trimmed quite a bit the other day. It may still need more trimming. And then after that's over, there will be the outlines. And as for dosa testing, yes, I've got dosa paper in here. I have test strips in here as well. Thanks for reminding me. I would have forgotten about that. I haven't any news about the today. We're still testing. Ishikawa-san has run her first batch. Ayumi-san is in the middle of running a testing batch, and I will do a bit of a testing batch this morning. So, okay, let's get going. I think I can get this done inside the 90 minutes. I'm really not sure. It's possible today. I've got to get this done, so it's possible if we're running late on time, there might not be a show and tell. I brought stuff. I've got something here. But if there isn't time, the priority is the printing here today. So we'll see. This sweater, this is a present from Jed-san. He sent it over as a present. It would be a couple of years ago for Christmas, I guess. Well, so I don't know if Cameron's here today, but those of you who aren't in on this, the yokai series here, we have a Japanese title for it worked out, but we need an English title. And what I had thought was that it would be good to use the collective noun for yokai. You know, a herd of whatever the collective noun is for yokai. But when I went out there, it turns out I can't find a collective noun for yokai. So Cameron posted something last night on our Insta about this, and I guess there's lots of comments. So if you've got any more ideas, toss them in here. No S&D. There may be an S&D. I'm just saying, I don't know. I've got something prepared, but just I have to get this job finished, so we'll see. A murder of yokai. But I think murder's been used for something else, isn't it? There's a murder of crows. Yagyagyo is a thing, so this is a different set we're publishing, so we can't use the same title for this set. Okay, what am I doing? Paste, ready. We have a bit of water in a cup ready. We have some pigment ready. This is just simply black sumi with some water put in, maybe not enough water, we'll see. And I'm going to put the pigment onto a tile. How we can see everything here. There is a tile beside me here. Well, it's okay, you can see what's going on. There's a tile beside me here, and the pigment is going onto the tile, not directly onto the wood. A party of yokai, yeah, that's a good one. The one I was thinking about last night was an undercurrent of yokai. Block is of course dry. I tried to put some water on it a few minutes ago to get it moistened up. And a sort of idea, collect them all. So. Actually, there shouldn't be me making a call on this. There's a major yokai study group on the net. What's it called? On Facebook? They have a Facebook page. I forget what it's called. It's a major Facebook page that studies and talks about it and then plays with yokai. Those are the guys who should make the call on this rather than me. So. I got it this morning, get ready to set up on this, and I went to the Baron box and pulled out a couple of the Barons, and it's good news, bad news. Ayumi-san yesterday, she finished her work a bit early. So what she did was she recovered most of our popular Barons. They've been getting a bit ratty, and without regular printers working here all the time, sometimes they get a bit torn and then work. So she recovered almost all the Barons, 5, 6, 7 of them last night. It's a job that other people just sort of keep avoiding and avoiding and avoiding. So I have now, I've got to print this thing with brand new, perfectly tied Baron skins. And that's good news, but it isn't good news because they have to get broken in. They don't actually work smoothly at the beginning when you're first printing them. Okay, we have 6 sheets of paper. I've also got a few sheets of junk copy paper, which I will use for the first couple of impressions just to see where we are on the color tones. Not so complicated so far. Let's run. Let's just do this. Well, the envelope, on the envelope, I'll be showing you that later. I'm going to be printing the envelope here as well. We have a block for the envelope, and on the outside envelope, the title is there in Japanese. So the Japanese title appears on the envelope. We'll see it later. Oh, fresh Baron cover. They're so unpleasant to use. Step 1. On a normal power printing run, the major paper is here, I print, I throw it over here on the left, pull, print, bang, pull, print, bang. But I've only got 6 sheets here today. So I'm just going to stick them back in. I've got an in stack here and an out stack, both together inside this pack. Everything's still fresh and new here. It takes a while here. When you're going, the brush is really full of pigment. It's bang, bang, bang. But right now, everything's still empty. The brush is empty. The block is not set. We really should use this. 10 prints in one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice, 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 nice. Very nice. Putting the pigment on the tile, because putting it on directly, it's really difficult. It could be too much, not enough. By putting on the tile, I can see how much I'm picking up. Block's still dry. That's water. What would be Dave with a British accent? I'm not going to try it here, absolutely. I had one, I'm sure, but I'm not going to try it now. Touch first, always the first touch in towards the canto. If you do make your first touch this way, it pulls the paper out. There's a humming noise. The fan, I think, is running. The mic here is under the fan of the computer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, Cameron's here. Good morning, good morning. Cameron, there was some good suggestions here too a few minutes ago. We have to read back through this. There's good suggestions here. I couldn't access most of the ones on Instagram because it won't let me scroll down. Party of yokai. Okay, 2 sheets left on this color, then we'll move on to the next one. There's only going to be 4. There's 4 impressions on this thing. 3 impressions on the print itself, and then 1 for the cover picture. Okay, for the people just joining us, we're making a print. It's going to be 4 colors. This is the first color, nothing, just gray. In a few more minutes, we'll switch to the next color, and then the next, and over the next hour or so, we're going to see a finished print develop. A bunch of newcomers here. So just hang on a few minutes. This first part is not actually so interesting, but it gets better real quick. Okay, if this were a real job now, they would have gone over there face up, face up, face up, face up. I've been putting them here face up, and the face up stack now gets flipped over, so the first one is again the first one that's going to come off. But before I move to that, I got to do these test sheets. So hang on a sec, a couple of those test prints, just a minute. Just take a second here. These are the sizing tests we're doing. I have 5 strips of test paper here, sized with a different sizing mixture. They all have the same amount of glue in them, but there's a different amount of alum in each one. And we're trying to figure out what changes when you put more alum in or less alum in, how it affects the paper. And I myself, we're doing it as a blind test. I did the sizing on them with the testing, but Aoyama-san numbered them. And he numbered them in a sort of randomish order and then just passed them to me one at a time when I was doing the sizing. So I myself don't know what we've got here. There's 5 sheets with numbers on them, and I don't know which one has what kind of sizing in it. I mean, there's no real... We just thought we should do it that way, so that I didn't have a preconception of what to expect from each sheet. Just 2 more. So far I don't see any big difference with any of them, but whatever. There must be something in there. idea. Okay, test is done. We now move on to the next block, and the next block is the characters themselves. We have 10 different yokai. They're all carved on one block to match those 10 blocks you just saw. For this we need a more delicate baron, absolutely, so we'll switch. This was a rough, tough one, very hard beta baron. This one is more delicate. You can't see the difference on the outside. Inside the coil is hard and tough. This coil is more soft and delicate. Lots of conversation. I'm missing most of this. Hopefully there's lots of conversation going on back and forth here. Thank you. I'm going to use the same thing. It's the same cup with pigment inside. And now, because we want a deeper gray, I'm going to take some real black and increase the power. So this is now like half diluted sumi. And the brush shorter here. How's our time? 8:23. We're ahead of time. We're running ahead of time. The brush hair length. I know when you've got delicate lines in here, or semi-delicate lines, if the hair is too long, like it was on that last one, I used the long-haired brush for that first one because if I was doing a run of 100 prints, whatever, we want lots of pigment left in the brush. In other words, we'd want to rub the pigment out, just put a little bit on, rub it out. And having lots of hair means lots of pigment stays in here. But when it's floppy, it's difficult to control on all the small lines. You just can't pull it out. With a shorter hair brush, and it could even be much shorter than this to help, you can easily pull the hair, pull the pigment out of the thin lines. Get this thing warmed up here. The mist thing, yeah, it was myself and my daughters. We did it. They were living in Canada, and they came back each summer and winter holiday. They spent the summer vacations with their dad. They went back over to Canada to go to school with their mom. So they spent the summer vacations with me and the winter vacations with me. And we had lots to do, but Mist was a real quality time for us. The first Mist game, then we played, I forget the order, Riven, Exile, I can't remember. And they were quality time. The three of us would work at the computer together. You know. We played that, and we played Oxid. My God, the hours we spent with Oxid. Was it Mist, Riven, Exile? I got it right, but that's where we left off. I haven't done any since then. that test sheet. What kind of paste am I using? I don't know. Classically, it's a starch paste, boiled rice or boiled wheat or whatever. That's the classical recipe. Here, these days in this workshop, that's not what we're using. Oh, looking okay, looking good, looking good. This is the idea. This is the idea, the characters. That's our test sheet. The paste we're using is, we're using a Japanese shoji nori. It says shoji nori. It's a commercial paste. I don't think it's food, you know, it's something. Dimpan, it is made from carbohydrates at base. It's also got preservatives in it. The idea is we don't want stuff in our prints that bugs are going to really enjoy. And the classical paste recipe of cooked up rice or cooked up wheat, to me, leaves, you know, it's food. It makes that paper much more attractive to whatever bugs are coming down the line over the years. So now getting the paste out of all the little hairs is the last step. Chip, 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 chip. We're back to sheet number 1. Always the same order. This is sheet number 1 to start with. Now this is more delicate, of course. Ooh, still new skin. It's much more delicate printing than I did a minute ago here. Much more delicate. Check where each one is. Could be a bit blacker, I think. It's not quite black enough. And block is still dry, you know, absolutely still dry. You need to go bang, 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 print one, print one, print one. The block dries out so easily here. Printing 6 prints like we're doing today is just, it's not the right way to do it. You know, that's just a warm-up. The first 6 or so are just a warm-up. After then it starts to move steadily and smoothly. But this is still a test. We're going to need more carving, I think, on this block. Touch up some of these fine lines. Also at the beginning of the run, your hand doesn't know where to go, you know. Like this one in the middle, it's lower than the rest. If I hit too high, it spoils it. So you have to learn the muscle memory. At the beginning of a run like this, you have no idea where they are. Okay, a little better. Yes, nice and smooth. Could be even darker, I think. Let's put a bit more. That's about right. The thing about the darkness, or how dark, how light, whatever, remember this is wet paper. And things always look darker and richer on wet paper than they do when they're dry. It's like your jeans. Imagine if I spill water on my jeans, it will look darker blue because it's wet. Once they're dry, it fades out lighter. The same thing happens with the prints. So this always has to be in mind. Anything that I think looks just about right, when this paper is dry, it's going to look different. Not to mention there's another color coming, a black outline, and having black outlines around something will change the way your eyes react to it as well. So none of it is all that straightforward. But you can see, I think, how it's peaceful work. You know, once you get going, if there's a stack of 100 sheets of paper there, or a couple of hundred sheets, you just sit there, you get a nice rhythm going. One more, one more, one more. Maybe listen to music while it's going on. I think we have it here. I think we have it. There is our. So that's after 4 sheets, we've built up, and there we are. So the first 3 or 4 sheets was a sort of test. Someone's asking about a warmer background gray, you know. I don't know how close we need to get to the original. I'm not trying to make a picture-perfect reproduction here. The original one that you see on the website, remember that's 80 years old. There's a huge amount of paper toning there. So if you look at the edge of the prints, the paper has gone yellowish, and that's of course showing through the gray at the back. My paper is white, bright white, so that the gray also is a bit of a different color temperature. It's always a question for us, do we try and make it look like the original, but then when my own print is then 60, 70, 80 years old, it'll be too dark and dirty. So it's an open question, you know. Mine will definitely look cleaner, they will look brighter, they look newer, different color temperature, because the paper is white. Oh, the last one. I thought there was one more. That's it. Okay, those test sheets. Just a minute. Back to the test sheets again. Use this one. Test sheets here, we're not testing printing, and I don't need any registration, we're just slapping them on. I'm just simply testing the strength of the sizing. So it doesn't matter, we're just slapping it together. I need to be able to look at how much the paper is pilling up here. We found with some of our recent sizing, the paper surface starts coming up. And we're trying to figure out how to minimize that. So this paper test has some adjustments in the amount of the alum that's in this size. We've kept, for a test, we've kept the amount of glue in the sizing the same, but these 5 sheets have a variance in the amount of alum that is in the size. And this is going to give us our first chance to see what effect the alum has. I'm not sitting here studying them now, but we'll have a look at them carefully later on. So we don't know. Does the alum give it strength? Is it weakness? Whatever. The classical answer on all this stuff is it's the nikawa, the glue in the size, that gives the paper its physical strength. This is the classical answer. When we have the glue too low, the fibers will separate easily. So it seems that it's the glue that is the main cause for this. And technically, the alum, myobam, is apparently to stop the pigment from spreading sideways. If you have a piece of unsized paper, you touch it with pigment, it just blots out into the paper. It's apparently, again, the classical answer for this is it's not the glue that does that, it's the alum. And we are now simply doing a test here to find out. We've taken some paper here, we've removed the alum completely on some of these. On some of them we've doubled it, on some we've got it in between. There's a whole range of it here. But we've kept the glue consistent. So doing these little tests, having a look at it at the end of the day and seeing what's changed. Next test, we'll keep the alum consistent, we'll change the glue and go from there. Just one more, sorry about the okay, out of the way. Okay, next block. Next block. Earthquake outside. The next block is the borders. Doesn't get any simpler than this, except it's careful. There's delicate lines in here. Do I still write in my blog? My God, not very much anymore. No, not very much. The blog is alive, but there's not much in there. In recent years, I've been using the blog, over the last year or so, I've used the blog really for just 2 things. I've used it once as an announcement. There are people who don't watch Facebook and stuff like that, so they see the blog for the announcement. New video came up and stuff like that. But I've also, over the past couple of years, I've used the blog for long posts when I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. What do we do with our business? Do we close it? Do we open the store? What do we do about pandemic and stuff like that? So I've used the blog as a sounding board. I've written long blog posts there that sort of put down ideas, looking for a bit of feedback on what to do. Okay, we are going to switch now to the actual raw sumi. This is black, black, black. And a different brush. And this is a harder piece of wood, so I am going to be struggling here. It's going to be too dry. So actually I should take it easy here at first. Just rub some pigment on, let it sit, because this is one hard piece of wood and it's very, very thirsty. If I rub it on like this, try and print it, most of the pigment ends up going down into the wood rather than onto the print. So give me a second here. Give me a second here. Tom 1060 YouTube. No, it's fun, sorry. But you can see why I don't want to try and do that here in the Twitch chat, you know. I can't see and read your idea and think and get rid of everything else. To write that post over there, I had to sit and think about it for a minute. What do I want to say? What am I trying to say? What do I really think about this? And that kind of conversation, I'm sorry, it's really not something I can do on the fly here, really. So thanks for your patience on that. This is one dry piece of wood. Just a minute here, okay? Just a minute here. I think we're okay for time to show. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. That sounds like the Oshibori truck. Is it? I don't know. Let's try that test junk paper. This is what happens. You can see it's a piece of dry paper. This is why we moisten our own paper before we start. If you try and print on a piece of dry paper, like this test was, your first impression on the dry paper wrinkles it, so nothing else would ever line up. This is why our real printing paper is moistened first, so that you can print it and it doesn't wrinkle and crinkle. Something like this, wrinkling and crinkling, you'll never get registration. But there's a view. That's what these prints are going to look like. I think we can do this. I think we can do this. As long as I keep moving. So the paper I'm printing on this morning, I moistened it yesterday afternoon. I cut and dimensioned it yesterday afternoon. Prepared my newsprint, moistened it. But you can't just, whatever, that paper wrinkles and crinkles. So you moisten it in the afternoon. I came back in the evening, spread it out, moved it around, put a bit of moisture here. And this morning now, this whole stack is beautifully smooth and flat. But it takes time to get there. Okay, let's try one. Again, we start with sheet number 1. It's always the same order. You absolutely keep the stack in the same order. Our first batch. Cute, 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 cute. None of it's dark enough. This is dry already. It's dry, you know. Ooh. For the real job of printing these, once we do it for the orders, you know, later on in the week I'll be doing it. I'm the first printer on this job, so I'll be doing the first batch. I'm going to run 100 or so, I guess, later in the week. And it'll be the same thing. It'll be the first half a dozen copies, and then bang, once it's up and running, away you go. And no interruptions, nothing. Just go, 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 go. The block dries out so much. It's also, by then you're much faster because you know where stuff is. You know, as I said, I'm still learning. Where is it? How far does my hand have to go? Once you've got your muscle memory, away she goes. A trick of yokais. Would that be a good one? Yes, you said a trickster, a trick of yokai. That's another question too. When it comes into English, is yokai a plural noun? I know. Or in Japanese, yokai, there's no S's in Japanese, there's no plurals. So we say the lady is wearing kimono, or those ladies are wearing kimono. In Japanese, we never say those ladies are wearing kimonos. There's nothing like that in Japanese. So yokai in English seems to be a plural. There's a group of yokai. We don't say yokais. So a trick of yokai, a collective of yokai. Yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. These are going to be really nice. I'm going to have fun later this week doing these. I mean, some of those Japanese words make it through into English that way. You know, typhoon. There was one typhoon last month. There were 2 typhoons last month. It sounds okay, even to us Japanese speakers, because that's an English word now. But the word kimono, I just can't get it. You see it in an English story. The women were in their beautiful kimonos. Just for someone who speaks Japanese, that's just a, oh, don't do that. But yokai seems to have come through safely. Nobody is saying yokais. They're saying yokai. These are fun. I'm so glad we did this little project. How many, am I done? One more sheet, hang on. In English, Cameron, you know about samurai? Do English people pluralize it? Samurais? I guess not, I don't know. They've kept that one. Many Japanese samurai. I guess so. So I don't know why some words come through safely and some words don't. I don't know. Why did kimono not make it through? Why does everybody say kimonos? Typhoons. It's okay, but actually I can see already there's a problem. I'm going to need more carving on this. There's a couple of places here. I don't know if you can see it here. Do you see this? I didn't notice this in the first batch. Some of the character comes into the borders here. See this? You have to trim that. And I think now you can see what we were talking about earlier, the background. The background could have been darker because the background all by itself on the white sheet looked kind of dark. But when you put everything else on it, that background now is almost invisible actually. So clearly when I do the actual main job of this, I'm going to have to pull the background up a bit more. And when you're first doing the background by itself, it looks, no, it's too dark, what are you doing, it's too dark. But it's actually okay. It's going to be surrounded by other colors. This is one of our most difficult parts. Some of the online stuff talking about this. I was listening to an interview the other day. Someone's got a new podcast where he interviews different people making prints and stuff. And he's interviewed a few people, and I heard some of the conversation there. And they're talking about technical points. What about the printing order? And almost everybody said, yeah, you start with the light colors and end up with the dark. And sometimes. Okay, now. What to do next, I'm not sure. This is the cover. This is the cover picture. And here's what we're going to do. I've made 2 samples here of how this set is going to go out into the Word. Printmaking Podcast, we know the name. I don't have it here, but Cameron's got it. Cameron can link you to the to the place. Cameron's still here or not, I don't know, but whatever. What was I saying? Yeah, okay, how we're going to put these out. Cameron, can you, the link to that guy's podcast, Andre somebody, I forget his name, he's been asking us for an interview. Yeah, is that what it? Please, Cameron, yeah, that's the one I think. So. Too many. The way we are going to put these things out into the world, it's not the single sheet. The single sheet, we are printing them this way as a single sheet. We're going to slice them up. Our staff members are going to slice them up. Just like this is the way it was done in the old days. And we're going to do it like this. Everybody will get the little package, sort of like this. And inside it will be a piece of Japanese washi folder with the cover picture on it. This is a woodblock print as well. And inside the folder are the collection of finished prints. But, this kind of paper we use for this, it's kind of thick. That's okay, but it's kind of thick. It's packaging paper. It's not delicate printing paper. And what I've done here is I didn't print the cover picture onto the washi itself. I printed the cover picture on super thin gampi, delicate, and then pasted it on. This one for a sample. I printed it directly onto this quite thick paper. And look at the difference. Oh, you lose all the delicacy. I tried to be careful with it. The one on the right is printed on Gampi. Wow, how can we get so close? We can't normally do it with this camera. That's printed on Gampi. And this one is printed on a thicker washi paper. And you can see all the delicacy's gone. It's thicker and blacker and richer. But this one, what's going on with my camera? How can I go so close? Anyway, whatever. For the scale here, there's my finger. So I'm thinking I'm going to print them on Gampi. I might do some more testing. Try if I can get it a bit of a lighter touch on that paper. I don't know. So anyway, today for this testing, what I'm going to do, don't tell the camera, whatever. So today, I've got the block here. Just so we can see how it goes, I'm going to print it on some Gampi paper. Yeah, it's not a question of dilute sumi, it's a question of pressure. That paper is really hard, and even with diluted sumi, you've got to press so hard to get it in that it spoils it. It thickens up all the lines. I need a better paper. It's not a question of sumi, I need a better paper to do it. Scissors, scissors, scissors. Somewhere here there's some scissors. This is our famous Gampi, the stuff we use for peeling. Yeah, dampen it more. I'll do more testing because I would like to have a single solution. If we do it with the Gampi, then we have to think about how to glue the Gampi on. And even the one I did yesterday, you can see already, it doesn't look nice. It's wimping out here. It's not smooth. Whereas the one that's printed on the paper itself, it's a single unified object. So this would be my choice to do it that way. So we'll do some more testing. But for now, let's just print some of this on Gampi because it's what I have. This is the double layered Gampi. This is the 5mm. And for this we need a flat barrel. This is flat. Boom, there's nothing, no bite. You couldn't print any kind of color with this. All you could print is lines. It's a barren especially made for the line work. Look at that. Phew. This is what I want, sharp lines like this. And you can only get it with super, super, super thin paper. almost no water on the block. If there's any visible water, you're doomed. Parade of yokai. Sorry about that. So I know we're going to experiment more. I am going to try and find a nice washi that we can use for the envelopes that will allow me to print. And if I can do that, if I can find a nice washi, then here's what we do. We cut it in a shape like this, score the folding lines on, and then print it. Just simply print it here like this. That will be the easiest way for me. No gluing, no nothing. But it's going to need a bit of experimentation to find some nice washi. The thing about this is, we can't just use junk paper, because the prints themselves are going to last 100 plus years. And if we just used a not so good paper, then they're going to be damaged in there. That's the one real problem for us, the packaging of our products. When you have a product that lasts 100 years, how do you package it? You can't package it in plastic. We're going to put it in this little plastic envelope to send it out safely, but that plastic is going to last only, you tell me, a few years, decade or whatever. It's not going to last X hundreds of years. So all of the woodblock prints made, all of them, the packaging gets whatever, you make it and repack it and repack it and repack it. Because there's no way the packaging lasts as long as the product itself. But we have a Japanese title that's already selected. What I need is an English title. A Parade of Yokai, that's okay, that's okay. It doesn't sound scary enough, maybe. The best collective noun is something that tells you something about the object, the murder of crows. It's a bit of a dark story, but So Parade of Yokai is a nice word, but it doesn't have a backstory. A Fright of Yokai would be better, Fright of Yokai. A haunt, so. My feeling is it's not going to be my call. I'm going to look at these suggestions and we may choose one for our series. But what I would like is, because this is something, this is part of the language, so it's not me that should make this call. That yokai group out there, the people who study yokai, that learn them, that know much more about them than I do, they're the people who should make the call on this. So I think I'll drop an email to Matt. What's the guy's name? Matt Alt. He runs that yokai group out there. And his group should work on this. And somebody wants a t-shirt. I didn't buy this. Jed Henry ordered it somewhere online for me as a Christmas present 2 years ago. So I don't know where he bought it. It came online from somewhere. If we need to know, we can ask Jed, and Jed can give us the information. Yokai tea. I'm sorry, talking about two different things. I don't know. So, a yokai t-shirt, meaning as in this design on a t-shirt? What hour did I land in Japan in 1986? I don't remember. I'm sorry. It'll be in my passport maybe? I don't know. I don't remember. It was during the day. The flights from Canada, what time did they arrive here? I don't know. Afternoon? Morning? I don't know. But anyway, halfway Dave is not to the minute, I think. I don't know. So, well, that reminds me, of course, yes, Thomas brought this up. It's the half-life thing. My half-life my half-life meaning England, Canada, this and that, and then Japan. Somewhere yesterday, today, tomorrow, depending on how you actually count it, is the half-life for me. So it's been a sort of a little bit of a milestone. A little bit of a milestone. Actually, though, even before I moved here to live, I came for a 3-month vacation and a 3-month vacation. So the amount of time I have spent here is already more than half. But it's the half-life according to when you live and change your residence. So roughly, it was 5 years in Britain, whatever the time is, 30 years in Canada, and then 35 years in Japan. So it sort of roughly adds up to this minute by minute. There's another milestone here today. Is my mother here today? I haven't seen her pop up. Is my mother in the chat? Because here in Japan, it's her birthday today. It's not where she is, it's tomorrow for her. But here in Japan, it's my mother's birthday. So happy birthday, Ma, even though you're not counting them anymore. Is she here? Happy birthday tomorrow, but happy birthday today, whatever. So. I haven't seen her on stream for a few days. She's not here. Nanda! You are here. Okay, all right. Okay, I love those caps. Yes, I am here. So, somebody and Mom have the same birthday. Good, good, good. The thing about this is my mother, she's told me years ago, look, I don't count birthdays anymore, but she does, of course, she does. It's an achievement. An achievement, my God, an achievement, yes. And nobody's going to tell us what number it is. I can't remember, I'd have to work it out. I'm not going to, my mother will tell you the number if she wants you to tell. I don't remember it is 7. I worked it out, but yeah. Our family is funny in that our family, myself, my mother, and my father, we all share, the zodiac symbol. I'm a rabbit, and we all share zodiac symbols. So, okay, where are we? It's 9:12. What should we be doing? We do have a show and tell then, okay. But listen, before we do that, then let's have a peek at these, the prints we just made. The next step with these, of course, they're still wet, they're still moist. There she is, 94 years old. Mom, hontoni, congratulations, hontoni, congratulations. Incredible achievement. My mother says too, she's given her age, also she's been healthy soon all the way through. My family, both my mother and father, they're not the kind of people that mess around with hospitals or medications or stuff. They've been done really, really well. I remember, I can tell a story, Mom. It's okay. It's a story about you. Whatever. I visit Canada back and forth once a year before the pandemic hits, And one of the visits, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, my mother has become 90. And I was at my sister's place, and my sister's bathroom, the medicine cabinet, is like full of stuff. She really likes playing with this and vitamins and all the supplements. My mother's medicine cabinet, you open it, and there's basically nothing there. And this lady is the age she is, and so hontoni. Hontoni, wonderful, Vanges. I love these jeans. I love having these jeans. I chose good jeans. Well, John's saying, Balavasa, what else do you need? But typical people, especially you get to that age, you open the medicine cabinet, it's just full of stuff, And my mother doesn't have anything. There's just next to nothing there, So, hopefully, if I've got part of those genes, we'll see how it goes, So, anyway, here we are. So anyway, what we have here is the next step now will be to put these in the drying boards. But it's a 2-step process. There's still quite a lot of moisture in these things. And we found that if we put them straight into the drying boards, we've got this sort of 2 millimeter thick boards. If we put this straight into the drying boards, the water has to go somewhere. and the water goes into the drying boards and they end up curving and buckling a bit. So what I'm going to do, there's no cat in our house here. So I'm going to take some newspaper, spread it on the desks here, and I will put these out in the open on the newspaper like this for about 5 or 10 minutes. It's a dry day here, and I can't let them dry that way because they will go completely wrinkly. I've got to leave them in the open till they get most of the moisture out, and then when I see them, that's it. Then they go into the drying boards, bang, 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 bang. They go in pairs in the drying boards, face up, face down, and they come out flat, 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 absolutely flat. And the drying boards also stay flat as well. So. What's this comment? You put Vaseline on the outside and it's Mom, I'm not doing either of those things. What am I doing wrong? so. Is that original to you, or is that something British people of your age talk about? Vaseline on the outside and whiskey on the inside. So. I've never heard that one before. Anyway, happy birthday again. Good. Okay, we have time for a show and tell. It's worked out really, really well. Very, very good. We have time for a show and tell. Let me clean up. I've got dirty pigment here. If I bring out the show and tell prints and they fall in the pigment, that's exactly the kind of thing I would do. Okay, talk to you later, Mom. Thank you very much. If she's still here. Oh, sure. Show and tell. Okay, show and tell. There's two things. The prints I'm going to show you today in the show and tell, we took pictures of them 2 weeks ago. And they are online. Watanabe-san last night sent me the master copies, and they went up online. Where is it in my... Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Bingo. Here is the online pictures of what I'm about to show you. Now, how do you do this? These are big. These are big. So what should we do here? Ettone. Maybe I can do it right here. Maybe I can do it here. It's a print set, and I do not have the whole set. It's called, how do you do in translation? Modern and ancient, ima mukashi, today and yesterday, fuzoku hyaku bijin, 100 beauties, showing manners and customs from different eras, today and, yeah, let's do that. Okay, hi, good idea. John's got it here. Oops. Good. Okay. Okay, John, Tom's got the half-life, have you? Okay, to the minute. Thank you, sir. They are, excuse me, it's a set of 100 prints, which is not a set of 100 prints. It's a set, it's called 100 Beauties, Manners and Customs from Different Eras, from today and yesterday. But they've already discovered around 160 prints in the set. So they either started with the idea of making 100, or they're using the word 100 in a common Japanese sense simply to mean lots. I don't know if there's a standard English analogy, a word that actually has a counted value. Yeah, we say millions. He's a millionaire. It doesn't mean he has actually $1 million. He's got lots of money. And in Japanese, the word 100 has that same meaning. So hyakubijin could mean 100 beauties, and maybe that was their original idea. But it was still selling well, so they thought, look, I do not want to stop this, so let's just keep going, because it fits. So this is one of the prints from 100 Beauties. I put the link there, and there's another link. I know Dieter in Artellino. He's got a good write-up on his website. I don't have a link for it here. I know the Artellino. Here it is. I thought I prepared this. Look at this later. This is a Dieter over in Germany on the Artellino website. Has a lot of information about these prints. A couple of things to talk about. These are from a Kyoto publisher, which tells you right away there's going to be a big difference in how we treat the paper and the pigments here. Do you see what's going on? Look at her hands, and then look over here at the edge where the bare paper, where nothing has been printed is. This is the bare paper at the end. There's a background tone here, but over at the edge here, there's nothing printed on the bare paper. Coming along to the middle here, we see her face and hands seem whiter. In a Tokyo style and an Edo style printing, what you would be seeing in her hands there would be the paper. Not what you're seeing here. You're seeing white pigment. All the colors you see here are pressed on top. The white underneath her pigment here, the white highlight is white pigment here. They are nicely done. More blocks than I can count. Delicate carving. The designer is Shodo Yukawa. Yukawa Shodo. And I myself can't give you chapter and verse here. Someone who knows Japanese clothing would look at this and say, oh yes, this is a lady supposedly from the such and such era back in the 1400s or in the 800s or whatever. I don't have a clue about that. Looking at the hairstyles, looking at the fashions, tell you what the era is. The manufacturing date on these is early 1900s. It's 1900. The set was they first started to appear in 1901. The set, I don't know, there is a famous Ross down in Kyoto. Ross Walker has a set. I think it's 160 he's got in 4 boxes. And that was 1903 it's dated. So we're looking at the very early 20th century. That's another thing about the Kyoto prints. You can see the outlines here. The outlines are not thick, rich black. The outlines here have been dulled. They're printed in a gray to start with, and some of these colors are on top of the outlines, which, because the colors are opaque in Kyoto printing, it dulls the outlines to some degree. Lots of open space. I don't think this is foxing. I think somebody has spilled something on this, or it's picked up some stains. That's more of a stain than foxing. Foxing typically is smaller dots, not so much in a patch like that. Don't quote me, but I'm thinking this is a stain rather than something internal from the paper. There's also something else to mention about these prints, in that these are not mine. Actually, 3 or 4 of them are mine, but about 20 of them, they're not mine. These belong to Julio Rodriguez in Chicago. There we are, look at this. It's a stain, because you can see the same area. So they were stacked up, and there was a stain that went through the paper onto the group of them. Or is it a transfer from a sheet that was on the other side? That's something else it could be to show. So there's a shape. It could have been in an album, and you're getting transfer from the other side. Yeah, the Jazz Prophet has got this. It's not coffee, it's transfer. Something in one of the pigments has transferred across to another sheet. Yeah, Cameron's got that idea too, yeah, good. As I was saying, these prints don't belong to me. They belong to Julio Rodriguez in Chicago. He's a long-time amateur printmaker and a collector of my work. And he's been buying these prints and stuff. And he had these, and he thought that it would be safer for them to be taken care of in our collection here. I'm not sure how we're going to go and do about this. He and I don't have a contract together. He just sent him over and said, look, Dave, just whatever, just take care of them, okay? So we are taking care of them. And I should make it clear on the collection which ones are ours and which ones are not ours. We're going to hold these for Julio. Maybe one day he'll want them back, whatever, we'll send him back. There's something else about the white. I don't know if we can see it. Do you see that? I said that the white face is white pigment. But when you turn it sideways, I don't know if it's going to show on the camera. It really, really shows white. No, it's not so much. For me, sitting here looking at it like this, oh my God, I can see the chalk. I can see the chalkiness. They're so much fun, and there's detail, like how this thing works. Do you see how this is? It's a loom, and I know nothing about looming and weaving, but look at this. There's a stone, which is the weight, which is obviously pulling something down in the middle here, and she's obviously tensioning this with her toe. She's got a string on her toe, which is either tensioning or pulling back and forward, and she's pulling this thing back and forward, and this is cool. So there's lots of details about the actual things going on. This is a nice one. This is one of my favorites in the batch. See the pattern on her inner kimono? In a typical Tokyo print, this pattern would be done with karazuri. That would be embossed. But here, there's a pattern, I'm trying to get the angle to show it. There's a pattern printed over top with white pigment. So here we are. There, you can see it there. See that? Soka. And it's thick white pigment. This thing sticks up. That pigment, I could scrape it off with my finger. As to the fashion, what era, I don't have a clue. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about these fashions, the hairstyle. I don't see this kind of a hairstyle in Edo era prints, so I guess this is earlier. But I'm not the man to make those calls. Very, very nice set of prints. 160 in the set. 160. Oh, this is another nice one. They're all nice ones. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. This looks like one of those kimono that we find in the kimono catalog we were looking at a couple of weeks ago. These prints too, you know, they come up quite a lot. I know Artelino, Dieter over in there, he gets them all the time. And they're not that expensive. Now, to get a whole set, of course, would be a massive investment. But these prints usually go somewhere, I don't know, $100, $150, somewhere on that. When this was fresh, there would have been a glow here. The lantern has a whiter area around the top, and it's got an orange in the bottom. There would have been a really nice glow on that album. But now the toning, this is 100 years old, you know, it's more, it's 120 years old. We've talked about this before, you know, for me, this is kind of about the limit of these prints. You know, when they're just made, when they're freshly made, as you saw with the ones I made today, the freshly made ones are white and bright and not so nice, not so pleasant. And once they get past about 110, 20, 30, 40 years old, depending on the paper, they really start to get toned quite a bit. So it's whatever, it's about my age, prints that were made just at around the wartime. They're the ones now that have the best feeling and the best touch and the best mood. Everything we're seeing here is printed. There's nothing hand painted on any of these prints. Everything you're seeing is all printed, printed. None of these are retouched. There's no hand painting here at all. This is, I forget the name, I know in English it's a halberd, naginata. This is a girl who is dressed for training for naginata. I forget the traditional name for it. It's a martial arts training. No, it's a, am I correct in the word naginata, the show? Naginata. It's one of those old, not a sword, it's an old kind of a spear. And nowadays you'll see kids training with the kendo. Yeah, so somebody's got it, naginata. So, and it's a kind of martial arts training. And women do it too, lots, lots. And this is exactly, you put the bandana on your hair, you lift up your kimono with the taski, and away you go. So this picture could be today. This picture could be today. So I think if a girl's doing it today, they would probably they would put a ponytail up, I think, to get their hair out of the way. And absolutely, that thing about the transfer, you're right, whoever mentioned that first, these stains on the back here, they are indicative of shapes. So absolutely, these things have been held in an album against each other. Just a couple more, I think. 160 in the set. This one's a nice one too. Peaceful mood. The hairstyle again, it's old hairstyle. Smoking, drugs. Here's her smoking kit, her pipe. She looks a bit sad, not sad, I don't know. What has she been smoking? I don't know, who knows? See the metallic? Her pipe has an aluminum powder printed on it. Yes, I'm sure it's just very light tobacco, of course. Let's just have one more. Away we go. About right, so one more to finish off. Couple, a pair. What's she doing? Applying, is that an oil maybe to the hair? Do we know what she's doing here? The child is doing something to the woman's hair, combing it, or is that oil? Wax? I don't know. I have no idea. There's a kit. Is it part of the kit here? Any hints down here? A small container of some kind. I don't know. Anybody who knows would know. So. Okay, that'll do for now. All right. Okay, it's been fun today, having a bit of a different stream up here printing. Not sure what my schedule is going to be now. I now have to make a batch. I've got paper prepared. I did sizing yesterday. I'll be making a batch of about 80 of those yokai sets. But now that I've got a test version made, I'm going to be scanning and shooting them today. I'll be getting it over to Cameron for preparing. And this is going to go online. So that little set of yokai is going to be for sale, open online, within the next couple of days. I think we'll be sending out information about it as soon as we're all ready. The other thing about those prints, so did you notice? I didn't mention it specifically. They have holes. They've been bound. They've been punched and bound into an album, into a book. That's where you get all that transfer from one print to another. Okay, anyway, here we are. I'm off. It's Thursday now. I'll be back at work Saturday morning. I'll probably be carving on the dog print, I guess, downstairs, or maybe it's possible I'll be up here doing the edition printing on the yokai. If so, it'll be a different stream from today. It won't be seeing everything. It'll just be one color. Bang, bang, same color, 100 times. If that's what's happening. Haven't decided yet. Okay, thanks very much. If my mother is still here, happy birthday again to Mom. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Let's pop up the outside view just before I sign off here. Let's put up the outside again for a couple minutes. And I am eagerly, eagerly, eagerly going to read through all the suggestions about the name for the yokai series. Absolutely. Thank you very much for all the input on that. If I don't choose your suggestion, I'm sorry. We'll choose something, no? Hi. Beautiful day. Another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. That would have been fun if a crow had come next to the camera. That would have been fun. Okay, shutting her down. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See you in a couple of days. Thanks for the companionship. Bye for now.